Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm here to solve a Rossini Sudoku taken from the World Sudoku and Puzzle Convention 2021 conducted on Logic Masters India. The inspiration to solve this type comes partly from the response given by you viewers to our previous video on 9-pin Sudoku. So both of these types, Rossini and 9 pins, is present in the upcoming Sudoku GP round, which is created by authors from Japan. And this Rossini Sudoku is worth a massive 115 points. It is the highest pointer from the contest, carrying more than 1/6 of the total GP points. So I thought of covering a video on this. And the Sudoku that I'm solving today is taken from round 7 of WS+PC 2021 called Sudoku Shrine. It was a 75 pointer Sudoku, and I hope that this video is enjoyable. The link to solve this Sudoku is in the description of the video. And please do subscribe to the channel. It will really motivate us to to see your support for the channel. So please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. So let's move to the rules now. Each row, each column and 3x3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9, no repetitions. And you can see that there are arrows which are pointing towards the grid. In a normal Rossini Sudoku, you will see arrows pointing both towards the grid and away from the grid. Or without any arrows at all too. So what it means is that when you have an arrow pointing towards the grid, the cell nearest to the grid will be the lowest digit, and it will keep on ascending until you reach the border of the box. So for example, if you consider the arrow outside this row, so which means that this cell will be the lowest. This will be 5 will be higher than row 1 column 1, and row 3 column 3 will be the highest. Basically the arrow, the tip of the arrow will point towards the highest digit. And when you have an arrow pointing away from the grid, the cell nearest to the grid will be the highest, and then the next one will be lower than that, and the next one will be the lowest. And if you don't have an arrow, then either of these properties cannot be true. So this is how a Rossini Sudoku works. So let's start the Sudoku. I always love solving Rossinis. So let's see how this goes. Right. And as I was explaining to you guys, I noticed that this 3 is the highest in these 3 cells. So which means that this is 2 and this is 1, only possibility. And you also have an 8 here. An arrow is pointing towards the grid. So this is the highest digit. And 9 must be in one of these 3 cells, an arrow pointing towards the grid, so this is 9. Okay, look at this 4 clue here. This is the highest in these 3 cells, so this will be the lowest, and minimum here would be 2, minimum here would be 3. Okay, so this is the only possibility here. So that's a 2 and that's a 3. You have 5, 6 here, so 5, 6 can't be here. So this will be a 5, 6 pair, and this has to be a 5 now and 6 now because of this arrow, or you also can use the classic to reduce these digits. And this means this will be 1, 8 and 9. Two in here, so this will be a 2. Okay, because of this arrow, I can't have 2 here. This will be minimum 3, because 3, 2, 1, you have 3 cells, so this cannot be a 2. This is 2. Now I can't have 1 here, because then I would have an arrow which is pointing away from the grid. So this is not a 1. So these 2 cells will take a 1. So this will be a 1. I forgot to add a small part in the rules. All possible arrows are given, which means that if you don't have any arrow, I think I added this, I touched upon this rule part. If you don't have an arrow, neither of these properties can be true. So that's why I eliminated one from here, because then it would form a strictly decreasing sequence and you will have an arrow pointing away from the grid. There is no arrow here. Okay, 5 is going in one of these two cells. So what can I use here? Maybe this 5. Look at this cell. This has to be minimum 6, and you can see that it has to be a 6. 7, 8, 9 cannot go there, so that's a 6, which means this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So what do I do here? 5 is already here, which means the left out digits here are 4, 6 and 7. Because you can't have 9 here, 8 is the highest. And you can't have 6 here. You also can't have 4 here, because the middle cell will be greater than the cell nearest to the grid, because it's an arrow pointing towards. So that's a 7. That's 4, 6. 4, 5, 6, 9. Okay. And 7 here, 7 here. So this is a 7. If I have 7 here, 8 is forced here, which is possible. At first I thought that the digits were coming kind of fast, but now I think that, okay, you need to think a bit here. Okay, 1 and 2 doesn't go in this cell. So 1, 2 goes here. And 2 cannot be here. Because if you have a 2 here, no matter where you put a 1, you either have an arrow pointing towards the grid or away from the grid. So 2 cannot go in between. 2 is either here or here. And 1 can be in any of these 3 cells. So nothing to do with the ones. This cell is 3, 4, 7. You can't have 1 here because of this arrow, right? So that's a 1. So which means these 3 cells form a strictly increasing sequence. Okay, so this would be 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, and 5, 6, and 7. Why don't I highlight arrows which are, used? This is used, this is used, this is used, and this is also used. Okay, this is used, this is used. Okay. So there are not many arrows left now, so we probably need to use the vice versa part. Let's start with this box. Look at this cell. This cell cannot be lower than a 6 because then you will have an arrow pointing towards the grid. So this is a digit which is higher than 6 and it has to be 7 because you have 8, 9 here. So this will be 2, 3, 4 and no 2 here. Now 5 is greater than 3 or a 4 and you cannot have 8 or 9 here because then it will form a increasing sequence and you will have an arrow. So this has to be a 1 to break the sequence. That gives 8 and 9. Now I can use this way. So this is not 3 because a 3 here forces 4 here and 2 here. And now you have 2, 3, 8 and that will force an arrow again. So you can clearly see how the vice versa is playing a brilliant part in the Sudoku. So 1 here, which means 1 goes in these 2 cells. Okay, let's look at these cells. These will be 3 4 7 8. This will be 3 4, this will be 3 4 8. Okay, these two cells can't be 2 3 4 1 5 6, so they are 7 8 9. Okay, so we got a good start here. Can I use the vice versa anywhere powerfully? Oh, this is not 8. Okay. Right, 2 is in one of these two cells. This cannot be a 2, because then this will be 4 and that will violate the Sudoku. So that's a 3 4. 2 is here, so 2 goes here. Okay, not much there. And 3 4 goes here. Right, 2 in one of these two cells using Sudoku. This 2 gives 2 here. And look at this column. So this cell will be 4 or 5. This will be 4 5 6, and this will be 4 6 9 for the row. Interesting. And this cell is 3 4 or 9. Can't be 7 8 1 2 and 5 and 6. I'm missing something here. Okay, 9 goes in one of these two cells. So if I look along this column, this cell 1 2 5 9 6 and 8, so it's 3 4 7. Wow. There's one deduction maybe we are missing here. Okay. So for these two cells, 7 would be highest, right, along these three cells. So which means 7 is greater than this cell. So this cell cannot be greater than this cell, because then that would form a sequence. So which means row 9 column 3 is greater than row 8 column 3. Okay. So this is 2 3 4 5, and this is 1 2 3 4. And you don't have 3 4 here, so this is 2 or 5. You have a 5 here. How did I get the 5 there? 5 is already here, so clear this is a 2. What a deduction, guys. So which forces a 1 here? Because if you have 3 4, then you'll have an arrow outside. That's a 1. And that forces 1 here. Now look at this row. You get a 5 6 in here, so this will be a 5 6. And you can't have this way, right? You cannot have 6 5 1. So that will, have an arrow pointing towards, away from the grid. Sorry. So that is 5, that is 6. This is 7 or 8. This will be 8 9, and you cannot have 9 8 2, so it has to be 8 9 2. and this will be 3 and 4, and it cannot be 4 3 1, it has to be 3 4 1. Superb, guys, what a beautiful creation. And you can also see that the arrows are all symmetrically placed, and look at the givens: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Beautiful. So this is not 4, this is not 4, 2 doesn't go here, so 2, oops, 2 goes here, this is not a 2, and 1 has to go here because of this. So this along this column you have 3 here, 8 here. To complete the column we have 2 here, that gives 2 here, right? This will be these cells don't take 3, so 3 is forced here for the column, and that becomes a 4 5 pair. So that gives a 6 here and a 9 here. So now 6 here removes the 6 from this cell. So 4 5 pair gives a 9 here. So 8 in box 5 goes here. So these will be 1 4 7. So this is pointing towards the grid. So this is 1 or 4, 4 or 7, and this is pointing towards the grid. This is forced to be a 1. That gives 4 7. This 1 removes the 1 from this cell, gives a 1 here, and that's not a 4, that's not a 4. So 1 2 9 3 7 8. So I'll need 4 5 6 here, and 5 is ruled out here, 6 is ruled out here. Superb. So I have 4 5 pair, 1 2 4 5 6 7 9. So this will be 3 8. So in Rossini, one small piece of thing to notice is always be on the lookout for the vice versa part also, because it may help in unexpected ways and you won't even expect that, oh, there is no arrow here, so I can eliminate this digit. So always be on the lookout for that. Six here, this is not a 6, it's a 4 5, and so this cannot be 5 3 4. 5 is here, so that's not 5. 4 6 4 6 4 6. So this is 5, that's 4 5, and look at these 3 cells. You cannot form an increasing sequence, so this cannot be 8, that's a 3, that's 7 3 4 5 6 7 4. This is 6 8 pair, which can be resolved quickly. 6 and 8. 4 gives a 3 here and a 4 here. This column can be completed. This is 8. So box 5 can be completed now. That's 6, that is 3, and that is 7. 1 3 4 and 6 2 and 5. So I'll need 7 8 9. This cell has to be 8. This is not 8. So that is 8 now. So 1 3 4 8 2 7 and 9. So I'll need 5 6 5 6, and that's a 5 now and 6 here. This 5 gives a 5 here, 4 here, 4 goes here now. 1 2 4 8 3 5 6. So 7 and 9. So now we have a deadly pattern, but fortunately this is a variant. Now if I have a 9 here, look what happens. This is 9, this is 7. Now you must have an arrow which is pointing away from the grid, right? Because the arrow head, the pointed shape will always be on the side of the highest digit. So now when you have an arrow outside, the highest digit will be 9, 7 and 5, but there is no arrow outside. So clearly you cannot have 7 9 this way. So which means I must have 7 here, 9 here. Oh. 7 here and 9 here, 9 here and a 7 here. And with that we have completed this brilliant creation. Unfortunately I don't know who created this. This was part of the convention and the author name wasn't mentioned. So apologies. Whoever created this did a brilliant job. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon again with a video. Take care. Bye-bye.